Good morning, everybody. Friday, finally payoff day for our Christmas moonshining here. And I was out here early. It's about 8 o'clock. I loaded up the, as you guys saw, we loaded up the still last night. And about 7 o'clock this morning, we threw the power to her to begin our run today. I have to go ahead. I like to use an external fan because sometimes that kicks off. Just to cool off, that's got a very big power transformer resistor in there or something. Step down transformer. That baby gets really hot in there. We don't have the best ferment in the world. We've got our 4 shots here, our first little jars for 4 shots. Take off the stuff that's dangerous. We'll take off about a half a pint there. So yeah, we're up to about 70 degrees. It's already warmed up to about 48. It was like 35 when I came in. Oh, I don't like winter moonshining. So we're underway. If we get 1.5 gallons today, I'm going to be very happy on a winter run here. So we'll see. We got her cranking up. We're running about 22 amps over here. Yeah, looking good. And the action should begin around 190, somewhere in there, because alcohol, of course, has a lower boiling point than water. So some of the low alcohols start coming off at 172 degrees. And by 202 degrees, we're all done. Everything we want has been stripped out, and the rest is junk. And believe it or not, you're still about 10 degrees below water's boiling point, and you're all done making what you're going to run. All you're trying to do is strip off the lighter than water components here, which are the ethanol. So we're underway. I'm going to go ahead and turn the water pump on here. Start firing, bringing that up to pressure here. Ooh, it's a cold morning today. Had a lot of frost and stuff. Our beautiful citrus trees here. Let's go ahead and bring our temperature, our pump on, I mean. And then we'll get our, make sure we're turned on here for all of our down lines and everything. I don't think we'll need this one. Goes to the rest of the property here, so we're not going to need that today. Turn that off there. And this simply runs under here, and it feeds into the back of the building here. We've got a city water feed, and we've got a well feed over there, as you can see. So, all right, we are underway. Exciting, the Christmas moonshine run for the subscribers. Been so requested for so long. Rosie, when are you guys gonna do a run? We only do one a year, and this is it. So it's cold, but in a little while the heat of this will act like a big room heater, and will be nice and toasty in here. Like to keep the window open and the door too. You don't want any kind of fumes accumulating above, especially in the early stages. You have a lot of potentially explosive material in here, so you want to be very careful with that. Okay? So yeah, we are underway. Now we're going to get up to about 150 degrees or so, then we'll turn on our water here and start recirculating a little bit in our jacket, so it causes any ethanol that starts to rise, any of our lower alcohols, to condense and drop down into the pot as we begin that reflux process of sort of concentrating the alcohol at the top here for more efficient liftoff. Hey, if you're going to do full-size moonshine, it's an all-day proposition out here. You've got to dedicate yourself to being out here 6 to 8 hours to do this, so it's really an all-day sort of thing. But yeah, once a year makes it fun. Other than that, it's a little light. Let's do a temperature check. Whew. Up to about, what do we got? 82 degrees. Everything good? Like I say, I think we're prepped up. If we can get a gallon and a half, we're doing good today. That'll be a gallon and a half of 180 proof, which will be 90% pure. So, considering winter time and the cold temperatures that we've had, that's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, so let's go grab another cup of coffee. Oh, and just as a reminder on the process, remember, as the temperature is heating up inside of our drum kettle here, our stainless dairy kettle, that alcohol is going to start to rise to the top. And it's going to be the first thing that wants to escape from the mash there. And as it tries to escape, it's going to go up to the column. We're going to be introducing water to this jacket here. And anytime any of those little molecules of alcohol attempt to rise, they're going to hit the side of this, the cold water jacket, and they're going to fall back down. And we're going to keep that refluxing for about an hour or so. Then we're going to reduce the cooling in the jacket. We're going to reduce the water flow in the jacket. That will allow alcohol to flow over the top where it hits the secondary condenser. More cold water here formulates into a liquid and goes down and comes out the parrot here. And we'll be checking our proof by looking here, and we'll be running somewhere between 180 and 190 on there. Okay, that's the process. That's all distilling is all about: pulling off the good stuff and leaving the crap behind. I'm going to turn the water on just to flood the jackets a little bit, clear out any stuff that's in them. Let them just fill up. Let that cold water circulate in those jackets. I can hear it running around. And I'll go ahead and just cut it again. Okay. Just testing, make sure we don't have any big leaks here on our system. This is the input for jacket number 1, and then it feeds over to jacket number 2, water jacket 2 on this side here. Okay, 110 degrees. That's 60, 70 more degrees, the fun begins to happen. We've already been at this a good hour and a half. We're starting to rise our column temperature here. And down here we're at about 182. Normally if I get around 186 for a start point, for start bubbling and filling up the windows, I know it's going to be a epic run. You're going to get the full 10 to 15% yield. But today, because we're putting in ferment, it wasn't fully finished because of cold temperatures outside. We'll probably take off around 190, something around there, 191. Actually, we're starting to bubble up there, which is not a bad sign for beginning to get the distillation process going. So I do have the refluxing on here, meaning I'm introducing cold water to this jacket to make sure that anything that rises here, our low alcohols are starting to rise. Anything that rises is going to be pushed back into the pot. It's going to drop down. So we want to cycle that for quite a while here. So there we go. We're underway. We are bubbling. There's more and more windows filled. This might not be too bad after all, but we're at about 184 degrees. So the refluxing is well underway now here. put a little too much water on the jacket and started to, I'm a little out of practice, so it started taking off a bit too quick here. So we're taking off about, what are we taking off? About 182 proof already here, so I've got to moderate this a little bit and bring these back. These were basically gone empty on me. Pulling too much, turning off too much water too fast here, so got to find the right balance. It's called balancing the still once it gets underway, so okay. We're gonna capture about half of this jar, and that's not bad. We pulled off about 185, so I actually got a lot of hope for this, run here. The Christmas Run 2017. Balancing the still is kind of the art of distilling as opposed to fermenting. And of course, I always believe fermenting is the real important part of the process, but the distiller is the one that gets the glory. And he's very important because he has to make the right cuts to throw away the junky part of the product and keep the good stuff on here. And one of the difficult things to do early on is this concept of balancing the still, so you're getting the right takeoff speed. Once you've established the right takeoff speed, or how quickly you're collecting out of what they call the parrot here, the real key at that point is establishing a flow rate that's maintainable over the course of, well, this will probably be running 4 to 5 to 6 hours here. And we're starting to gain our windows back here. And pretty soon we should start taking off. So I'm just adjusting water flow here using the valves to try to get the balance of takeoff properly. So we're not taking off too fast and we're not taking off too slowly. I don't want to be here all day. There's the Christmas bunny. Welcome to the Christmas Run 2017. We only do this once a year, so you better get it while it's hot. There we go. And Missy Jen's been a big help here with doing that. So I actually had a pretty good takeoff at about 183, which surprised me considering how not great the ferment was. I thought we'd be starting at 191, but we've already filled up a lot of our windows here, so it's a good thing. All right, Missy Jen's going shopping, and she'll be checking back in. She's got some errands to run, so I'm on duty here. In a little bit, I'll get a cup of coffee, but yeah. All right, we're underway. Christmas Run 2017, as requested so many times by our subscribers, and we only do it once a year, so you better get it while it's hot, right?
That's right.
All right, not our thing anymore, but just for fun. Yeah,
just for shits and giggles.
Just for shits and giggles. All right, honey, we'll see you in a little while.
All right.
That's pretty much the flow rate we're looking for, which is the lead of a pencil size there. This is a real good offtake rate. So we'll go ahead and take off. This is the stuff that you want to throw away. This is your methanols, the acetones, all the low alcohols. Once we kick this off, there's no risk of anything. You know, all those wives' tales about poisoning. You get more out of overdosing on orange juice than you do out of this. So, okay, looks like a good rate. Now we're pulling off what's called the heads here, and they're not the tastiest stuff. There's nothing wrong with them. But we got to reach a point now where we didn't have to take a lot off of there. That they're not the best tasting. Now it tastes really good. Now we'll go ahead and start our what they call the hearts of the capture here. So this is the stuff what's called the heads. We'll repitch this with the tails or the smelly stuff at the end. We'll save that for our next run, although that's going to be a long time. Smells pretty good. It's got a really good grain flavor today. So we'll go ahead and we'll get our jar here. Trying to get the lid off of this down here. We'll go ahead and we'll save this for the end. We'll put the rest of our tails. We'll put our tails in there, the stinky stuff at the end. Okay. Otherwise, we're ready to begin capture. And right now we're running at 184.92% pure. All right, the run is on. It's funny, if I try to cut that off now, the boss calls that a Baltimore cut, like like I'm cheating people. But you can see how far down the hose is in the, I don't want it to really be in the sauce there. So yeah, there it is, our first quart. I'm real happy about the temperature. We're only at about 187 degrees, so we usually take off one quart per point on here as we move higher, one degree, 1 to 1.25 degree refluxing, and it's just got a really good balance right now. So I'm going to go ahead and change this one now. Who's that, hound dog? What are you doing, Domino? Huh? Where's Millie Vanilli today, huh? Where's Millie Vanilli, huh? Where's Millie Vanilli, huh? Millie Vanilli! Where's Millie today? We better go rescue Millie, huh? Millie Vanilli! Let's go see where Millie Vanilli is. Let's get Millie. Come on. It's like, I don't want to go home. Where's that Millie Vanilli? Millie Vanilli. There's Millie Vanilli. Millie, you crazy? Like long lost pals, huh? So happy to see each other. There we go. Oh boy. Finally warmed up to a nice 64 degrees in here. Have to smack that once in a while. We get what's called lag hysteresis. So, all right. Connor's always got to be honest, guys, and I'm afraid this substandard ferment is starting to catch up with me. Here comes Missy Jen here. Welcome home, honey. Woo. All right. Got her stuff there. Went to the store. So, yeah, the reason I say that is that I'm not really keeping anything going except 2 windows here, which is pretty poor. Well, I think maybe my, you know, the cold fermenting is starting to catch up with it now, because I'm about 3 quarts in, but I'm only got 2 windows chooching here, so yeah, not really the best sign, but I figured if we get a gallon and a half, it'll be worth it. So,
Okay, son.
all right. Ooh. Missy Jen has spoken, baby. You can probably see what happened when I began the refluxing. I turned the, I introduced the cold water back into the jacket here, and what that did was effectively, once again, keep all the ethanol cycling in here. Now with 1, 2, we went from 2 windows to fully 5 windows working now, as we're forcing more of that alcohol to rise. It's not going to improve the yield per se, but it'll improve the offtake here. So we've refluxed again, enough again there that we can start introducing the water again to start taking off. Okay, so we're running about 175 proof. That's about 85% pure. Let's get on it again. Just cleared our first gallon there. Go ahead and have a taste quality check. That's running real good, really smooth. The heart of the hearts right here. The best tasting stuff. I think one of the problems that I had earlier with the balancing is I'm out of practice. We only do this once a year. So I was probably had too high of an offtake going on. Now I think I got the perfect rate because all the windows, well, most of the windows are chooching along pretty good, and we're running back to 100, about 180, at 181, 182 proof, which is great. Okay, I'm happier. All right, we've kind of reached the end of the run here. We're pulling off pretty low spirits. I kind of predicted, didn't I, at the beginning that we would get a gallon and a half of good stuff, and that's exactly what we got. 3 quarts here. 3 quarts here for a gallon and a half. And what we're going to do now is just strip off these low spirits now. This is called the tails, and we can, well, next year when we do it, we can repitch them in and clean them up. We're getting close to 200 degrees anywhere, where the magic sort of ends here. Okay, and we've been at this for, let's see what time it is. It is about 1 o'clock. So we've been at this about 5 hours so far. So, okay, so we'll let that run off now. Collecting what should be the tails. Yeah, that's pretty rough tasting. Pretty rough tasting compared to the other stuff. It's time to wrap up our Christmas moonshine run. Now people always say, how do you know when the tails of the run are here? You know, because the smell is horrendous at the end of a distillation run. It really smells like sweaty gym socks that have been wrapped in wet towels and stored in the tropics in Panama for about 3 weeks, and then wrapped in a pile of dung, pulled out and enjoyed. It stinks so bad. You can see we've got the our proof is, we're just stripping off here. We're down to about 60%, 120 proof. You think that's a lot, but actually that's, you get into the stinky zone here. So I kind of thought we would get a gallon and a half here today, and we ended up getting a gallon and 3 quarters, which was pretty darn good. It's about 70% of what I usually do, and my prediction was spot on. We're around 202 degrees, which typically ends the run. It's been 6 hours of joy on here to have you guys along. That's going to be a wrap, guys, for the Christmas Moonshine Extravaganza. Thanks so much for being along. And yeah, don't assume it's like moonshine or standard disclaimers. Have fun. But remember, events can and are dramatized for TV and for YouTube. Thanks so much for being here for the annual Moonshine Run. Love you guys. Thumbs up are appreciated. Da, da, da.
Ew. Smells like butt in here.
That's why they call it tails. Ooh.